Well, that's psychologically interesting, isn't it? You see, such description of the phenomena of moral experience are psychological descriptions, or perhaps social descriptions. Society, this society frowns on. You see? So there you've got psychological and sociological statements. Third, exhortations to moral virtue. Chin up, old chap. Britishism, after all. But an exhortation to moral virtue is not a statement, true or false. It's an exhortation, an encouragement. Has a different function. Fourth, there are actual ethical judgments. Okay. Actual ethical judgments. Voting so-and-so in again would be morally irresponsible. Such and such is unjust. Moral judgments. Now, what is their logical equivalent? Now, in the case of definitions, it's fine. These are tautologies, conventional tautologies. Phenomena of moral experience? All right, the sociologist can see if it's a true description of social attitudes. Exhortations to moral virtue? Well, there are various ways of doing that. Just a squeeze in the arm might do it just as well. But ethical judgments, you see. Now, remember, if I say that such and such X is right or good, you see, and right and good have to be defined, well, what sort of definitions? Well, let's see. Supposing you have a utilitarian definition, and he discusses that in the chapter. But what this translates is then X is productive of Y consequences. That's a sociological statement, not a moral statement. The utilitarian defines a moral term in non-moral ways. It reduces the moral to the non-moral, to sociological, psychological things that can be observed. And so utilitarianism does not make sense of moral judgments. He agrees with G.E. Moore in rejecting the naturalistic fallacy, defining the good in terms of any natural kind of property. But inasmuch as any other definition beyond the logical is a matter of convention, to say X is right is saying no more than something like that. You see? In other words, it is simply an emotivism, an expression of emotion, an expression of feeling. Distinguish emotivism from subjectivism. He does. The subjectivist ethic, like that of David Hume, defines the good and the right in terms of certain subjective feelings which people have. Really what the subjectivist is doing is translating moral statements into psychological statements. But the emotivist is not translating moral statements into a statement at all, because there are no moral statements to translate into psychological statements. He's saying that a moral judgment like X is right, X is good, is not a judgment. There's no meaningful predicate, no factually meaningful predicate. And consequently, all you have is an emotive expression, an exclamation. Exclamation. It's an outburst. It's like saying, don't. You see. But the don't gets to be more the hortatory thing. You see. So in this development of emotivism, what he's doing is rejecting any empirical translation, utilitarian, subjectivist sort. He's rejecting any intrinsic, intuitive conception of right, like Kant seems to assert. You see. He's saying there are no such things as moral judgments. There is moral language, but moral judgments are no more than emotive outbursts. Well, that was picked up by C.L. Stevenson, who taught at Michigan, in his book Ethics of Language. And Stevenson added one more thing. While ethical language is indeed emotive outburst, it also has a rhetorical effect. By telling you that something is right or wrong, I'm engaged in some rhetorical act of persuasion. You see. Insofar as we have moral arguments, we're not arguing about right or wrong. We're just arguing about the facts of the case. You see. And then we use the rhetoric, the emotive rhetoric, on top of the facts of the case. It's interesting to see the way in which certain public presentations do that. Do you remember the Francis Schaeffer film about abortion that showed all of the dolls lying around over the landscape? And that's wrong. Notice there was no moral argument. What there was the bare facts that can be seen and the emotional rhetoric of the language. I suspect they didn't realize what they were doing. They were playing the positivist game, an emotivist ethic, rather than, yeah, too easy to do that. And I think you notice that in election year you'll find a lot more of it. Okay. All right, we didn't get to the religion part. I'll pick up on that and use it as the springboard to move on and talk about philosophy of religion, 6 positivism.